Welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Blacephalon in the Sunshine Cup. And you might think, why would you ever want to take a look at this Pokemon? First thing, it is great at dancing, as you can see here. But the other thing is, Kazim, who won a Dortmund regional there as well, played this Pokemon with the same team here. And I just thought, yeah, okay, why not try it out? We just have some fun here. Yeah, I'm not Legend yet, but I am also not too worried about it. We still have 1.5 months, so why not have some fun? I did expect that this team is going to be a bit more tricky to play, of course, but actually was a lot of fun, and honestly, Blacephalon surprised me on how strong it was. Like, yes, you have literally 0 bulk, like this is an absolute glass cannon, but it was hilariously strong. The first opponent just forfeits here. Next opponent, we want to have a great lead for us. So we want to see the Bummaster, which is going to swap out here into a Quagsire, allowing us to go into the Whimsicott. I am not going to get caught off guard anymore from this Pokemon. If they use a shield here, that means they have Sludge Bomb. They use a shield here, that means they have Sludge Bomb. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to mirror shields. I don't care. I am not going to risk it. It's going to be awkward here. That is fine. I am not gonna risk it. I got hit by it once, like fool me once, that's fine, but like don't fool me twice here. Like there's no real reason for me to not use a shield here. I'm expecting the Sludge Bomb. I see the Sludge Bomb, and I am happy because now I learned something, and I learned it the hard way. And I'm still getting caught off guard here from the opponent. But does it matter? It does not. Why? Because he can swap out of here. And Blacephalon is going to enjoy this one. Great play, by the way, from the opponent before. By going for one fast move in the beginning, they were able to get to this Weather Ball. While it's resisted, it nearly one-shots us. But also, Blacephalon is great at one-shotting opponents. Basically, nothing can take a Shadow Ball in this meta unless it's a normal type. And so, yeah, here we're going to be able to knock them out. They have a Flygon in the back, and we don't even have to reveal our final Pokemon, which is a madness. So, we're going to battle against a lot of good opponents here as well. We also already saw Benchstyler, who is one that is usually going to all of those tournaments as well. Good player, usually it's Legend. Like, we have a lot of really good players here against us. We have some regional winners. And we have a very special opponent that's going to be after this battle, which I definitely gonna talk a bit about as well. But, yeah, we're going to see here the opponent going to go for a fly with the Talonflame. They swap out into the Castrum running Tackle over Hex, which I feel interesting for this meta. I guess it might help you out. Actually, it's an interesting shout. I actually do like it. That does make sense, because you're going to be able to be better basically against Dunsparce. Like, if you don't know, like Hex is great at energy generation. Tackle is a Water Gun clone, so like it does 3 damage, 3 energy generation. It is actually not a bad shout. I feel like the opponent is maybe on something here. I'm gonna check it on the side real quick, because I feel like it is kind of a funny thing. Of course, against our team it was kind of horrible because we have a Ghost type, but there are not really a lot of Ghost types, and you have quite some decent charge moves as well for it, so I could see a world where normal Castrum has some play in this meta, especially with a Weather Ball Rock as well, having access to something that, honestly, it has a lot of good coverage, so maybe I'm gonna take a look at this Pokemon as well here soon. That looks like a lot of fun and great shout by the opponent. But yeah, we're going to let the move go through here. Yeah, you're going to be able to beat some, like a Talonflame. You're going to have coverage against basically everything. I feel like it's a great safe swap. That's the safest safe swap that you can run. That's hilarious. Anyway, we're going to see the fly coming through, and it's now down to the Blacephalon, and we're sadly going to lose here, but shouts to you. Here's a battle I want to talk about. It's Expansion, and there is literally under the tweet of Kazim trying to play the team, also a tweet from them, which I'm going to show here right now as well, which you're going to see there as well. And basically, they were very surprised about people talking about Blacephalon for the meta. So let's take a look at what Blacephalon can do against them here. We're going to have the Superior coming in. That's totally fine for us. We can still try to go for another Rock Slide. I think we still survive the hit here. Credility is quite bulky. Friend's Plan is neutral. And yes, we can still survive, allowing us to go for another Rock Slide. Putting them into range where almost like one Incinerate is going to be enough to knock them out. And so we're going to swap out of here. And you might think, that seems a bit silly. You're going to be locked up against that Dunsparce. But Dunsparce can be quite tricky for the team anyway, and so I'm quite happy at getting A, the shield here, but also B, another shield afterwards. And so it's down to if the opponent going to have Talonflame in the back or not. If they don't, I should be fine here. I guess Clodsire would be also pretty awkward, but it's going to be another Whimsicott, and so it's us with a little bit of fast move advantage, as well as 2 shields with a Whimsicott against the opponent's Whimsicott. And this, not only this, we have actually 3 shields left, which is hilarious. We still have our Credility catching the move here. This game is over now, guaranteed. And yeah, good game there. Funny enough that we beat the person that was surprised about Blacephalon with our Blacephalon while getting 2 shields from them with the Mystical Fire. Was a lot of fun here. Good games to you. They went into my Twitter DMs afterwards as well. We're like, oh, why did you do that? But yeah, that was kind of funny. I loved this one. Now we're going to go up against another regional winner here. That's going to be quite interesting. Let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to have the swap of Flygon, which is actually going to, yeah, hopefully work out for us. Let's see if we're going to be able to go for the Seed Bomb, get the knockout, and they're going to go back into the Talonflame. We actually have an okay matchup here. Funny enough, like, you would expect that this is gonna be like such a horrible matchup for us as a Whimsicott. It is, don't get me wrong, but you still actually do quite a lot of damage with that Moonblast. It's not like free, especially as we can even go for another Seed Bomb here afterwards, which is going to chunk a little bit there as well. It's double resisted, but still gonna put them into range where I can hopefully go for the full Incinerate down. This is kind of my hope here for the battle. My hope is that I can go for the Incinerate down here, debuff whatever's in the back, but sadly they're running a team that I already showcased as well on my channel, which is Talonflame, Double Dragon, and yeah, that team is just impossible to win for me here because Credilli just doesn't really have the greatest matchup. I guess if I went for the right charge move here, I would have maybe won. Like, that maybe would have been helpful for me, but I decided to go for the bait, which I guess was a mistake in this case, but still, as you can see here, Outrage is coming through. We're gonna try our best to go ahead and go for, I guess, a farm down. I guess like we still have to take a hit here anyway from the opponent. It's going to be the Sand Tomb. But yeah, we're trying our best here basically, but it doesn't really work out. I guess if I went for the Grass Knot instead, I would have won this battle. But yeah, I know that, but the opponent is going to be able to now knock us out here. And we can still maybe farm them down with 2 Bullet Seeds. Let's see if this is going to work. They barely survive, and they win with a 1 HP and Dream. That was my mistake. Could have won this battle. Good game there though. And we can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have the Jumpluff. Jumpluff is going to be definitely a great matchup for us. In comes the Marowak from the opponent. And here it's a bit awkward because of course they have access to the ground type coverage there, which is not as ideal. But as you can see, a Mystical Fire is coming through. We're going to be able to get the debuff most likely against the opponent here. And yeah, of course, we're going to get the debuff, it's guaranteed. And we're going to swap out into our Credilli, which is our best answer for this Pokemon. We can take a hit. We can definitely take like a Shadow Bone from the opponent. It is going to drop our defense, but it is going to be fine as we can go for that Rock Slide to try to get the knockout. We're going to be able to get the knockout here as well. As they swap out back into the Jumpluff, we can try to get some more damage onto them, as they have no real way of denying this Rock Slide. It does around 40% health, or actually 50% health here as well, which is kind of mad. And let's see here how this is gonna go. We're going to be able to let the move go through. Aerial Ace is coming through, and I can go back into the Blacephalon as they're gonna force my final shield. And what we can do now as well is we can go for the Farm Down again afterwards, but they actually swap out into the, I think, Shadow Heatran there in the back. That is quite mad. They let the move go through, and I think they expected my Pokemon in the back, to be fair, with a Jumpluff, but then again, they also could have just used a shield with their Heatran. They would have been fine as a double resist both of my moves here. So yeah, that was definitely a little bit better than expected. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a loss here, as the Aerial Ace is sadly going to put us into range where we are not going to be able to win. But as we'll see, the opponent is going to use a shield here, and sadly they can farm me down before I can go for the Incinerate. Girafarig is next. Girafarig, interesting Pokemon. Also something that's actually on my list still. Maybe I'm going to take a look at this Pokemon as well. There's next to no resistance to this Pokemon in the current meta, which makes it so strong. Having access to Psychic Fangs as well as Trail Base make it nearly impossible to resist it. Speaking of Pokemon that resist it, it's the only Pokemon that really does resist it is going to come in here right now against us, which is going to be that Raticate. They're going to go for the knockout straight away. And here I have 2 options. I either go for a charge move now against the Raticate with my lead here of Blacephalon, or I try to get up to 100 energy. And I decided to go up to 100 energy with my Pokemon here, trying to do as much damage with all of those Mystical Fires. And I think it is the right call, as they're gonna go back into the Diggersby now. And you have 2 Pokemon now as well that are doing fast move damage with Quick Attack, which is going to be double resisted, which is going to be great for us to dealing with. And they're going to swap out into the Girafarig, allowing us to reach out for a Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is going to allow us to get the final shield from the opponent here for sure. They have to kind of keep going here because they need me gone for that Diggersby, but I'm not going to allow them to do that. I'm going to let the move go through though, but I'm going to be able to still survive it, go for another charge move. And even with the low amount of health that we have, because we went for this extra fast move here, knowing that the fast move damage from the opponent doesn't come through in time, we are able to reach that Seed Bomb. The Seed Bomb is mandatory in order to get the opponent into a range where we're going to be able to knock them out with a Mystical Fire, and yes, Blacephalon's high attack is easily going to be enough to knock them out from this range, and we can move on to the next opponent. It's going to be an Abomasnow. That's going to be great again for us. The opponent most likely goes for one fast move and then swap out. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. They're swapping out into Lickilicky. And they are getting that free fast move here, which is annoying, which they always get. This is actually, I think, correct in the way it's supposed to be happening. But yeah, we're going to be able to at least drop the opponent's defense while swapping out into our Credilli. Credilli allows us to deny the opponent to go for Body Slam, which is not as good anymore nowadays anyway, but basically they have to go for a Shadow Ball in order to do a ton of damage. But not only this, we are going to be able to go for that Grass Knot here. This is going to be able to get them very low, but we should be also able to get out of this matchup with at least a Rock Slide for us to hit against that Abomasnow, trying to do tremendous amounts of damage to try to put them into range for just one Incinerate. And they let the move go through, allowing us to go back into our Blacephalon. They swap out into the Flygon, and they can knock me out before I can do anything. And this might literally cost us the game. I was not able to swap out in time just because the Incinerate damage, like the Incinerate itself, takes so long to connect. And so it is down to the Whimsicott to win this one. We have to let the move go through here because Weather Ball that is super effective definitely does more damage than the Scorching Sand that is resisted. And so it's down to now Whimsicott against the opponent's Abomasnow. I hope actually for Weather Ball here, which we don't get. It's Icy Wind, which means our attack gonna be nerfed, and it's really close now because at this point we're gonna try our best to still knock them out with this move, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I could have also tried to go for the Moonblast here instead, but the Seed Bomb is not enough. Can we farm them down? Yes, we can. We can move on to the next opponent. So, let's see. We're going to have a great lead here. We're going to have the Wigglytuff. They're going to get some decent damage against us, but we can also still go ahead and go for another charge move against the opponent while denying the next charge move from the opponent as well, like the next fast move, allowing us to go into our Whimsicott. This is a mistake that I made in previous battles as well. You actually want to go into the Whimsicott over the Credilli. Credilli is in theory maybe a bit better, but then again, you're going to allow the opponent to go for a Drill Run. Drill Run has 15 more damage compared to Rock Slide, just base power, and here they are forced to go for the Rock Slide, which is just a cheaper move, and so, or like a weaker move, and so I think it's better to go into your Whimsicott compared to your Credilli. But also, what's kind of nice here is that we're going to be able to perfectly align ourselves. We still have a shield advantage. The opponent is going to swap out now into their, let's find out. Yeah, Wigglytuff again, we're going to have a great matchup here. We can go for the Moonblast. This is going to be able to connect as well, do a ton of damage, and get the attack drop, which is quite lucky. In comes the Flygon. We can actually this time around swap out in time, which is really important. And we try our best to go for the Grass Knot here this time around. We learned from our mistakes from before. We're gonna go for the hard-hitting move. The opponent lets the move go through. And this is going to be so important that we were able to hit this one, because now we can go for the full Bullet Seed down, trying to go up to 2 Rock Slides against the opponent's Wigglytuff, and this is going to be enough then to knock them out here as well. As you're gonna see, we can still survive the incoming Charm, and so this game is over. Another Rock Slide is coming up straight away afterwards. The opponent needed to try to go for the full Farm down. It didn't work out, and so we can move on to the final battle of today. If you reach this point of the video, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for appreciating the content. Of course, if you want to also show some more love, feel free to leave a like. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, I would really appreciate that. Would really help me out. But anyway, we're going to have the Dunsparce against us here, and this time around, this is kind of what I mean. I went into my other Pokemon here, but I didn't, and that is kind of a mistake, because now the opponent is going to be able to go for some Drill Runs, which are just doing a little bit too much damage for my own means there. I feel like it's definitely a bit too much for me, and so we're gonna try to go for the Rock Slide. It's not going to be enough to knock them out, so I sure went for the Grass Knot instead. A big mistake by me, like literally kinda a huge mistake, because now look at this, they would be able to align themselves if they really wanted to, and so yeah, they decide to luckily let the move go through, allowing us to align ourselves accordingly. But it's still going to be tough because they're going to have in the back yeah, Clodsire, and I'm forced to stay in here, and I'm forced to go for the hard-hitting charge move there as well, because otherwise I have no way of getting rid of this Pokemon, and so it's now down to the Whimsicott to win this battle. It's going to be a very close one here. We can go for the Seed Bomb. This would be enough to knock them out, so they're guaranteed to use their shield here as well, because they have a ton of energy. But it's difficult. It is a very difficult. They might be even able to outspeed us here as well for the next one still. Let's find out. They had a ton of energy before. Yes, they can outspeed us, and so we're forced to use another shield here. And it's just gonna be tougher and tougher. We're gonna try to overfarm. Oh, never mind. They swap out directly into the Abomasnow. Our only hope is that we can somehow knock them out with another Incinerate, but we don't get through. And so sadly, we're gonna lose the battle. And that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, I see you then. Bye bye.